For nearly 80 years, one alliance, China is becoming an increasingly important diplomatic and economic partner in the Gulf. Has one of the world's most important alliances begun to change? Or is this simply the next chapter in a partnership adapting to a new world? In the next 10 minutes, we'll separate headlines from reality and explain why Washington and Riyadh's relationship is entering a major transition. For much of the modern era, the U.S.-Saudi partnership rested on a straightforward exchange. Saudi Arabia, home to some of the world's largest oil reserves, played a central role in global energy markets. The United States became Saudi Arabia's primary security partner, providing military support, advanced weapons, intelligence cooperation, and strategic deterrence. This relationship deepened after regional conflicts such as the Gulf War, when American forces helped defend Saudi Arabia from external threats. Over time, thousands of American personnel were stationed across Saudi Arabia and neighboring Gulf states. The partnership became about much more than oil. It evolved into one of the pillars of America's strategy in the Middle East. For decades, few imagined this arrangement would significantly change. Yet international politics is constantly evolving, and the forces reshaping global power are now reaching the Gulf. The image of the United States leaving Saudi Arabia can be misleading. What's actually happening is a strategic adjustment. After 2 decades in the Middle East, Washington has shifted attention toward the defining challenge of the 21st century, China. To support that strategy, the United States has redeployed some air defense systems and military assets from Saudi Arabia. This reflects changing priorities rather than a complete withdrawal. The United States still maintains significant military capabilities across the Gulf, including major facilities in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and elsewhere. If necessary, Washington retains the ability to reinforce the region rapidly. The message is not that America is abandoning the Middle East. It is balancing commitments with challenges in Europe and the Indo-Pacific. Despite changes in U.S. military posture, Saudi Arabia's greatest security concern has not disappeared. Iran remains one of the kingdom's principal regional rivals. Over the years, competition between Riyadh and Tehran has played out through political influence, military capabilities, and support for opposing partners in regional conflicts. Iran has invested heavily in ballistic missiles, drones, and other military technologies that concern Gulf states. For Saudi Arabia, protecting energy infrastructure and maintaining regional stability remain top priorities. Yet recent years have also shown a different approach. Instead of relying solely on military deterrence, Saudi Arabia has pursued diplomatic engagement with Tehran. The restoration of diplomatic relations marked a significant shift after years of hostility. It did not erase long-standing disagreements, but it reflected a shared interest in reducing the risk of direct confrontation and improving regional stability. As American priorities evolved, another global power steadily increased its presence in the Gulf: China. Unlike the United States, China's influence has largely focused on trade, investment, infrastructure, and energy. Saudi Arabia has become one of Beijing's most important economic partners. Chinese companies participate in major infrastructure projects, while Saudi oil exports remain vital to China's economy. Beijing also demonstrated growing diplomatic ambitions by helping facilitate the restoration of Saudi-Iranian relations. For China, regional stability supports long-term energy security. For Saudi Arabia, stronger ties with China provide additional strategic options. This reflects a broader trend in Saudi foreign policy, building relationships with multiple major powers rather than relying exclusively on one. Despite dramatic headlines, the evidence suggests a more nuanced reality. Military cooperation between Washington and Riyadh continues. Joint exercises still take place. American defense technology remains central to Saudi Arabia's armed forces. Intelligence cooperation continues on shared security concerns. Both governments still recognize the value of the partnership. However, the relationship has become more transactional and less automatic than it once was. Saudi Arabia seeks greater strategic independence. The United States wants to reduce long-term military commitments while maintaining regional influence. These goals can sometimes create tension, but they do not necessarily signal the end of the alliance. Instead, both countries appear to be redefining how that partnership works in a changing international system. The Middle East is entering a period of strategic transformation. Saudi Arabia is investing in economic modernization while expanding diplomatic relationships with countries across the world. Iran continues to strengthen its regional influence and military capabilities. China is increasing its economic and diplomatic footprint. Meanwhile, the United States remains the region's most capable external military power, even as it shifts greater attention toward global competition with China. Rather than being dominated by a single superpower, the Gulf may increasingly become a region where several major powers compete, cooperate, and balance one another simultaneously. That creates opportunities for diplomacy. But it also introduces new uncertainties that could reshape regional security for years to come. The story isn't simply that America is leaving Saudi Arabia, nor is it that Saudi Arabia is abandoning the United States. The reality is more complex. An alliance that once rested on clear Cold War assumptions is adapting to a world where power is more widely distributed, regional actors have greater influence, and new global competitors are emerging. The decisions made today in Washington, Riyadh, Tehran, and Beijing will help determine not only the future of the Middle East, but also the future of global geopolitics. If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe to Middle East Nexus. We bring you in-depth, fact-based documentaries that explain the forces shaping our world, beyond the headlines.